Warning, this episode contains disturbing descriptions of graphic imagery, implied violence against animals and humans, and unsettling events that may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is strongly advised.
Welcome back, creeps and creepettes. I told you I had more surprises to come. Twisted tales, rotting revelations, and gut-wrenching goodies just keep oozing out, don't they? No, but the surprises aren't over, because tonight's episode is brought to you by none other than the macabre mastermind himself, Mr. John Abel from the delightfully dreadful 31 Tales of October podcast. He clawed this story up from the grave just for you. Tonight's tale is about a late-night sandwich shop, a stinky underpass, and some really hungry bottom feeders. We're talking rats, bones, and things that go chomp in the dark. So don't miss a bite, or you'll end up the snack. Before we dive into all the gory details, make sure you subscribe and turn on all notifications. I'd hate for you to miss out and end up 6 feet under in obscurity. And hey, don't forget to smash that like button with the same enthusiasm as our sewer dwellers smash skulls. It really helps keep the screams coming. Now then, on to tonight's story. And I call this one Beneath the Underpass. Enjoy.
I work at a well-known sandwich shop on High Street. I won't name the brand as I don't want to get in trouble with my manager, but you can probably guess which company I work for. Anyway, the store is open late, so I often work the night shift. It's pretty dead most of the time, so the other staff and I chat and drink coffee in between serving a few late-night customers that draft in. And by the time I finish, it's pitch black outside, and I have to use the underpass to get to my car. The road above is wide, 4 lanes, and barriers. There's no other way to get to the car park. I'm not exactly afraid of the dark, but I suspect there are people living under the underpass. Local people from the area come in sometimes, asking if they can put up flyers. Most of these ads are for dog walkers, mediums, or wellness classes. But lately, there's been more and more requests to put up missing pet posters. Neighborhood cats wander off in the morning and are never seen again. Dogs disappearing from the yards, presumably the work of a gang of pet thieves operating in the area. What the owners and police haven't pieced together is the sheer number of disappearances, and that the central location seems to be my place of work, or somewhere very close by. First time I noticed something was up with the underpass was the stench coming from the drain down there. It wasn't a smell of sewage, but something rotten, like old meat left out in the sun for too long. And I mentioned the smell to a co-worker who thought it was probably to do with a group of vagrants he believed to be living in the tunnels beneath. He told me that working the day shift, he often saw down and outs coming and going. He didn't think they were headed for the car park because they were dressed like typical car owners. One time, he even seen the sewer gate moving. But as he got closer, his footsteps echoing in the underpass, he noticed the cover being quickly and quietly lowered back into place. With only the softest scrape giving away the presence of something on the other side. This reminded me that I too had once seen something strange. A man wearing an oversized jacket and holes in the toes of his shoes crept out of the shadows of the underpass. And at first, I thought he was crawling along the pavement because of how he leaned on the palm of his hands. But then I realized he was hunched down low, walking on hands and feet with ape-like movements. A prehistoric caveman in a modern world. I watched him for a bit, sulking along the path beneath the streetlights, but soon lost him in the darkness. And at the time I thought it was weird, but the late shift normally brought out the crazies. I didn't think any more about it. Until now, of course. The closer I get to the end of my shift, the more I dread the thought of that short walk between the store and the car park. When it came time to close, I locked up and nervously headed for the underpass. In the darkness, I could hear the wet chewing sound and the tearing of flesh and bone. I took out my phone and switched on the torch, aiming the small circle of light where the sound was coming from. And I saw a man sitting with his back against the wall. In his hands, he held something as white as a bone picked clean, and he gnawed on one end, his teeth working rhythmically. Finally, he looked up at me and grinned, not in the least bit bothered by being there. Then he turned the bone around in his mouth and continued to grind his teeth against it. Keeping the light directed at him, I made my way through the underpass and out the other side as quickly as possible. The next day on my way to work, I decided to check the gate while it was still light, and I crouched down beside it. First, checking for a face that might be looking up at me from the other side. But the only thing that hit me was the smell. Oh, I got a good grip on the metal bars and heaved the cover up to the side, pulled my jacket across my nose and mouth, trying not to gag. Shining my phone down the hole revealed piles of half-eaten animal carcasses. The dead eyes of a cat looked up at me from a bag of fur-covered bones, and the movement of scurrying rats beneath made it come alive like some hideous puppets. I quickly snapped off some pictures to show the police later before replacing the gate. I was still shaken up when I started work. Just looking at the food beneath the counter made my stomach do somersaults. Not long into my shift, a customer came in asking to put up a new flyer. This one was a missing poster like no others. Only this time, it wasn't somebody's pet. I found myself face to face with a picture of a young girl. Now, I wondered if people living under the underpass had graduated from eating pets to eating people, and how easy it would be for a group of vagrant cannibals to move unseen beneath the city streets.
Well. Looks like our late night sandwich slinger got more than just a graveyard shift. He got a full bone aptitude experience. Who knew the real underground scene was so meaty? I guess next time you smell something foul from the underpass, you should just keep walking. Unless, of course, you're dying to be dinner. So if tonight's tale tickled your spine, go ahead and share this episode with your fellow creeps, because scary stories are best served fresh and screaming. And if you love this monstrous morsel, be sure to check out more terrifying tales from John Abel over at 31 Tales of October podcast. Available wherever you dare to stream. Stop by, say hello, and thank him for this horrifying helping of human stew. If you're listening on Spotify, Amazon, or Apple Podcasts, no, don't forget, you're missing out on exclusive short stories available only on our YouTube channel. Subscribe now or be cursed to wander the algorithm forever. Want to stay up to date on all of our gory goodies? Visit our website for news, merch, and web-only exclusives. You'll find the link lurking in the shadows of this episode's show notes. Go on, click it. Click it. Did you click it? Why click it? We also want to hear from you creeps and creepettes. Leave a comment below and tell us what you would do if you saw someone munching on a bone in the dark. No judgment, unless it's covered in ranch dressing. Ugh. Until next time, remember, if someone's offering you a foot long under the underpass, it might just be real.